What's up, everyone? It is I, Adam Prime. I said that weird. And we are back for another TokuBrew podcast. This week in Toku. With me, as always, is my lovely wife.
Hi, I'm Stormy.
And we are super late, but we are back with new Sentai season. As you saw, episode 74 was our catch up on
the ending of King Oger, right?
Gachard.
Oh, Gachard.
Then we talked about King Oger, and this week we're talking about the new season, Bakiage Sentai, BoomBoomger. BoomBoomger. It's kind of hard to say 5 times fast. We got cars. And we are 9 episodes in, and oddly enough, we kind of paced it out actually pretty good because we are...
Just hit a story turn, I think.
Well,
right?
yeah, because we did what they're calling their quote-unquote first lap is finished, so this is also
Very
could
cute.
be considered the first lap review, which is episodes 1 through 9, which is pretty much the team assembling, and if you haven't
Getting
heard
to know,
it...
like, what their relationships in between each other are, basically.
Yeah, and if you haven't been listening to the podcast recently, all our initial talks and everything on Dawn Brothers, not on Dawn Brothers, on BoomBoomger was lost. So this is our first time talking about the suits and everything else. So
yeah,
we'll
sadly, like our very first impressions when it showed up in the ending of King Oger did get lost. Again, a lot of our equipment died recently.
Well, yeah, and so we also couldn't watch it until episode 9.
And we haven't been able to watch a lot of this stuff. We just binged most of it.
So yeah, we binged episodes 1 through 9, so sadly we did not have the week-to-week experience. But honestly, I'm very pleasantly surprised. I had doubts going in, and I wanted to talk about this going in at first. For us, I don't know, and I'm gonna say it is a little bit of Gachard's fault for getting me to fear the idea of going back to basics. It's like, what do you mean? And this does go back to feeling very Sentai.
This feels very classic Sentai. Like a lot of stuff that
but it is still...
Maybe something that came out around the time we were kids or something.
Like 2010s, somewhere in there.
But like in a good way.
Like early 2000s, 2010s, somewhere in there. Somewhere between the realms of 2000 and 2015. I would say somewhere around there. Everyone's like, well, that's 15 years gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, it casts a wide net, so...
It's harder for me to be wrong.
Exactly. Of course. But it's overall was one of those things to where even the toys, if you watched my review, which as the recording of this actually just got posted not too long ago, or is it going to be posted? Can't remember at the moment. I wasn't initially getting into the toys. I still don't technically have a changer or anything yet, but honestly...
Yeah, you were really, you really took your time. You were really hesitant on whether you wanted to get the toys or not.
And it really did win me over throughout all of this, and...
You were really hesitant about the suits, too, but I imagine we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get into the... I'm about to say, do we want to go suits show, or do we want to save the suits for after we're done talking about the show?
Let's actually talk about the suits, because if you think about it, a lot of our first impressions kind of regard around that. Like, a lot of the stuff that we, again, lost.
Also, at this point in the show, we obviously do have all 5. We're going to talk about all 5.
Yeah.
So, I do know initially it was just black, blue, and pink, and along with some of the promotional material, primarily being them.
You mean red?
Yes, red, blue, and pink.
Okay.
I said black, didn't I?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Okay, I was just making sure, because I was just like, that doesn't seem right.
But yeah, the tire faces
are
really very jarring. And for once, they found a way to have lips on the suit, and I actually don't hate it.
Yeah, which was something that really surprised me as well.
Because, yeah, it's mostly because your face is immediately dragged to the tire on the face. And honestly, certain things just don't do it justice. Like, you can barely tell the metallic sheen that's on the front of those tires.
It's almost like how you would get like a car decal a little bit. It has a little bit of like that sheen that you would actually see on a car, like paint job or vinyl job or something like that. And like the suit actors, I almost said voice actors, but the suit actors are just so expressionate.
Yeah,
in
they're
these
being
suits.
so expressive.
Like it's so funny that you would think like a giant fucking
Here.
tire on your face would prevent that.
I actually have a screenshot that's perfect for what we're talking about right now.
But like they're able to like exaggerate so much because of it, like it's almost one giant eyeball, and like because like the lips are like there
Like,
but not distracting,
they
it
have
really
so many-
does make it like look kind of adorable.
Well, yeah, it's like there's so many head tilts or being like moving your head and everything, especially with Pink.
Oh, especially with Pink, yes.
And like, what's your favorite of the 5? Honestly, Orange is mine. I love the Ritz cracker like face. He has a nice, beautiful metallic orange.
What, are you gonna show me a picture?
Yeah, and like I don't know why I like the big caterpillar like tire face.
We've been calling him Mr. Ritz because his
Well, yeah.
face looks like a Ritz cracker.
Yeah. Also, I really do
The
dig
suit
the
designs
shoulder
are
pad.
awesome. I love like
The monster designs are,
Oh, I said the suit
killer.
designs, but like
but yeah.
I agree, the monster designs are
Well, yeah,
awesome.
that's also getting into it, but we'll get into those when we get to the week by week. But yeah, no, they all look so good and they're all a ton of fun, but they're also so uniform while also being weirdly unique because they're a lot more puffier. They have these collars and everything else. They
Some of
look
them
like
have shoulder
NASCAR.
pads. Some of them have like a colored stripe. Some of them it's just white.
Yeah, and like they're based off NASCAR suits.
Like
and,
our NASCAR pit crew.
which honestly, there's even a canonical reason for why they are like that because we'll get into it when we get into the story, which
Right.
is honestly a ton interesting for being 9 episodes in. Literally, if you watched our Kachart episode, where maybe we were a little more harsh than we should have been, or maybe we were justified, you decide. This had me caring more by the end of it. I don't know why I spaced that out so much, but it's just one of those things to where by episode, I think 4, I was like, oh no, I'm in. This is so much fun. But yeah, no, the suits are really kind of what won me over for being so expressionate and everything else.
Oh, do I get a turn?
Wow.
Hey, I gotta point it out sometimes.
Good thing we're not a video podcast or people would be noticing those facial expressions.
Yeah, just me just looking at you, giving you a side eye as I sip my coffee. But again, like I don't know exactly which one is my favorite because you aren't exactly putting anything side by side for me. Thanks.
Well, okay, there.
Thanks. I think I probably do like Pinks a lot. Just I don't know. Just like she also just is a little bit. She's a little small in like an adorable way. She's
Well, yeah.
small.
There's that one shot where we have Red that pushes her down.
Yeah, it like makes her duck. I feel like the suits, like when you very first see like an image of them, they're almost like a sensory overload. But like once you like really start to like notice like the details and everything, you appreciate it way more.
Then it's like they get so goofy with them too.
And God, from episode 1 to episode 9, I see this picture. From episode 1 to episode 9, I really feel like I could probably say more about like each of these characters' individual personalities, and also like.
Well, we can name them.
I can name at least most of them. I can give you a little bit of each of their personalities pretty easily, and my opinions on a pretty solid opinion on them, at least at the moment. Before, obviously they're probably going to have character development and stuff.
Well, yeah, we're only 9 episodes in.
And I already care way more.
Well, yeah.
I already care just so much more.
Their first emotional scene, for me personally, hits so hard because it went for it, and it got me enveloped. It was like, I'm like, oh no. And we haven't even gotten to like the best character. We'll get back to him.
I'm
about to say, I probably threw a screenshot of it as soon as I said the best character. We'll get to him.
Maybe you'll see. I don't know.
Also, I do think it's really interesting that they do all have different lips. I can't tell much of a difference between Red and Blues, but Black and...
Well, Blues is more almost like he has like a thing upturned, like...
Yeah, I guess.
Like he's almost like a,
I guess. But like...
I'm the coolest.
But Orange definitely has a different lips.
Yeah, he's like...
But yeah, do you have anything else to really say about the suits? Also, them doing karaoke for the ending dance is amazing and adorable.
Cute.
I love that. The fact that they're in suit and they had it out of suit is also great. But yeah, let's get right into the episodes. Do you want to explain how we started off episode 1? Do you want to open up? Because it's kind of the craziest shit. Because it's like, you don't know what you're expecting. You're like, okay, we're going to have fun. We're going to do Sentai stuff.
Again, like, I went into the show how I go to most. Of just, like, entertain me, and be fun.
Yeah.
If you guys have watched all of our things so far, you're probably sick of me saying that at this point. But like, I just like entertain me and be fun.
Yeah.
And I was immediately entertained and it was fun. Like,
Well,
because it's just like there's like, do you want to just talk about like what happens? Or...
Well, yeah, I'm saying, how do we open up the episode? Where do we enter? Like, what's scene 1? It was because it was the wedding.
Did it open up on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Pink is getting married to like some guy.
Well, we didn't know she was Pink at the time.
Well, we know
it's
now,
obvious.
so shut up. But just, I don't know. Just
God,
like,
spoilers for later.
oh my god, spoilers for like
Now.
2 minutes into the future. I'm so sorry. But like, and Red is just like, hey, I gotta deliver you. Get in my car.
Get in the car.
Get in the car.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I have a gun. Get in the van.
Yeah, he just kind of takes her.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, we're opening up on a wedding, and we had the whole wedding dress monster.
And they're like chasing after her and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, like your actual boyfriend ordered that. By the way, he has not gotten mentioned again. I think she broke up with him, so it's like
she left him.
But like, yeah, it was just like, I think of just like, oh yeah, like I was just trying to get you out of here, and then. But she starts to like make her own decisions. He's like, yeah, I like people that are able to like take the wheel of their own life or something like that.
Well, that's even what Taya, who is red, their names are fucking puns.
Oh my god,
okay,
we forgot to talk about that.
Let's just get into the names right now because it's the most important, just so we can talk about them. So yeah, we have Taya, which I think his name is like Taya Hondo, and I'm like, oh yeah, tire handle.
I thought Honda.
Maybe Honda, you never know. Then we have Mirror. Because at first, I remember when we were initially reading it, we're like, Mirai. No, it's Mira. And I'm like, oh my god. You remember my exact reaction when we heard it for the first time.
I think we said Mira, but we didn't think, oh, Mira. Like
mirror.
Like they're saying mirror.
Yeah, so Mira. And then you have, which is a nickname, but it's still a car pun, Chashiro, which is for a car chassis.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Gemba and Joe.
I think Genba. I forget what Genba is, but Joe is like a pun on brakes.
On lock, I think.
Oh, lock?
I think. I know Gemba was apparently like a shortened thing for the for the Japanese word of construction, and he also had another name. Like his full name is like a joke on it, and it's so funny because it's like I do weirdly remember their names. Maybe it's because we watched 9 episodes. Maybe it's because their names are just puns. Because it's like I never had a problem remembering Pink's name as soon as I realized it's a mirror. Mm-hmm. That's so dumb, and I love it.
It's dumb in such a fun and good way.
Yeah, and do you want to talk about our Team Rocket?
Yeah, the villains are Team Rocket.
The villains are just Team Rocket.
But like again, like
they work for the space mafia.
This sounds like we're saying it like it's a bad thing. Like it's really not.
I love it.
I love it
because it's like
I love the designs. They're awesome.
Yeah. And, like, you pretty much have the setup of Jesse, James, and Meowth, but instead, you have Engine Man, Cat Lady, and Cat Car, who, it's super funny because when they're also getting the chase... I don't see
cat when I see that. Like, has it said that it's a cat?
I think it's supposed to, because you see it say Meow as well.
Oh, I guess
think. So. But I like how you can tell the comedy of this show, because you also see them at one point in the middle of a chase scene stop to let a grandma cross the road.
They stopped at a red light to let someone cross the road.
Yeah, exactly.
And like not even the villains like complained or anything.
Yeah, they just kind of sat there.
It's been so
waited.
cute. Like at the very end of the episode, you also see it's like they have like a sponsored segment by like essentially like the Japanese DMV essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where it's like gives like approved safety tips, for kids, and it's really cute. And they have like little sketches that go with it.
But like.
We tried to make a little game out of trying to guess, like, oh, which road safety thing do you think they'll cover?
But, like, yeah, and you pretty much find out they work for the space mafia. No joke, that's what they said.
Oh, yeah, the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, they do just feel like wackadoos. They're like, you gotta make, and what they're looking for is gasoline.
No, gasoline.
Gasoline. Yeah, it's like, so it's super funny, and they use these keys to random turn on... They literally say ignition to turn on the monsters, and they just shove it into stuff. Like we see in this episode, a wedding dress, like balls, clocks, you name it.
It hasn't even been episode 10, and they already got a toilet or a bidet, whichever one it was.
Well, it technically had a bidet because it was spraying water everywhere.
Truth water.
Truth water.
He seeks the truth. The truth.
Also, the minions are just screws. Can I
But
pay you in
that's kind
screws?
of cute faces, though.
They're all like, ah!
Yeah, they threw a bunch of screws to make them, which is a really cute idea. Everything, if it can be a car pun, it is.
They literally unscrew the big monster because BoomBoomger Robo has a big screwdriver. Not a sword, a screwdriver.
So it's just like anytime that there is a pun, they make it. Any opportunity, they take it. I'm just like, I respect the fuck out of it. Oh yeah, also them like sitting down and like watching
them casually
them
watching,
driving around on Rainbow Road.
Yeah, that's what we call like the Boon car dimension. I like literally we're like it's a road. It's called Rainbow Road.
It's called a road. It's called a rainbow.
And like
road.
the fact that we just see the other two hash aliens just being like, yeah, go get them.
Get him!
And then they fail every time, and then you kept seeing their boss call them and say, you need to do a better job. And that's pretty much all we can say about these guys, outside of one other funny instance. They are comedy characters. I'll say this right now. Like, these setting up villains, they may change sides.
Yeah, I'm already gonna call it now that these guys are gonna like switch sides by the end.
They feel like street youths. They don't feel like I'm the big villain and I'm gonna conquer the world.
They feel like misguided teenagers that fell into the wrong crowd.
And I kind of love them.
Yeah,
because it's like they don't feel like they're just doing it because they're bored and they want to rough up people.
They're like playful little shits, you know.
They're Team Rocket. They feel like Team Rocket.
I never noticed look at the splatter on her arm.
I bet you it's meant to be spray paint or something.
Or something like that. Like I was thinking like paint or something like that.
But yeah, no, it's just like, and they're also just weirdly a ton of fun. And then we also get another boss. But that's after they have a few failed plans. Let's just start talking about funny moments, because obviously they let Pink in. Blue doesn't like Pink, and that's what episodes 2 is about.
And like learning to trust her. He also doesn't.
Oh, I guess we also do need to eat, because we didn't see him much in the first episode. The best character. He's back. You ready? We got Boondario.
You got Boondario Boonderes.
I'm about to say, I want to say, I don't know where we learned his last name.
Fear me if you dare.
I don't know where we learned his last name, but I think it was a magazine or something. But yeah, his name is Boondario Boonderes. Like, his name is at least Boondario. If it ever comes out that his name actually isn't Boondario Boonderes, I'll be a little bit sad, because that's a fucking amazing name. Because I want to know why they were like, you know what we need to make a pun on? Antonio Banderas with our big trailer man, who has the same voice actress as Ash from the Pokemon anime. The Japanese version, where I think his name is Satoshi? I don't know. I didn't watch Japanese Pokemon. So, sue me.
His name's Ash.
It is to me.
God, I'm kidding.
It is to me.
I didn't know that they had a different name in Japan. Interesting.
They do.
I'm not a Pokemon person. Like, I like
oddly
Pokemon.
Enough.
Yeah, which is really weird considering all of everybody around me.
Yeah.
I need to get into it.
But, yeah, no.
More than I do.
So, yeah, the whole second episode is just Blue being like, I don't know if I trust you, and we get into hijinks. Also, Taya is rich. Like, we don't know why he's rich, but he literally walks into a store at one point and just is like, I'll take your entire stock.
Yeah, literally, he's just like, I'll buy everything. Go ahead and pick out an outfit. It's like...
Yeah. It's like, I don't even need all this clothes, but I bought it anyway. And I love that when they had to do the roll call initially, Blue was like, oh, god damn it.
And I love that Pink kind of like messed up a little bit, but then she's like saved it at the end.
Yeah. Also, I like how they don't even hide how many cars are built yet. Like, we see the Tiger car, the racing car. I think we even see classic and stuff. And, like, police before they even debut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it already shows you that they really don't care. And it's like, I like that Boondario, when they're getting ready to call out, you just see him be like, go!
Go, 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 go! And they have, like, their little friend that lights up.
But, yeah. Okay, wait. Do we want to talk about the episode where Pink goes out on her own and does one of the most hilarious maneuvers ever?
Oh yeah, because she's doing a delivery.
Well, yeah, because a little kid had a broken mirror that they wanted
to give to their grandma.
Yeah, and so she's like, I'll do it, and Taya was like, well then, so you can prove yourself as responsible, you gotta do it on your own. So I'm not letting you borrow the car. And then Gemba's like, hey, have this bike. And that's where he kind of left the episode.
Yeah, he's always just like, hey, you need this. Here you
It's
go.
dangerous to go alone.
Take this. So obviously they try to follow her because they're just like, oh, we don't want anything to happen to her. And
Just see how she does. And, like, we have this
I think,
wicked
is
clock
that what
mon-
happened, or was it like, oh, something happened, so they had to go out?
Yeah, I think they just had to go out. And she
I don't remember
conveniently was going
exactly.
by. I can't remember.
But either way, like, she's just like, I went the wrong way, lol. And then she'd like drive by for again. I really like the clock.
The clock monster
It
that
was
just
really,
didn't like
really
anything
cool.
moving.
This one and another monster we'll talk about later. That was like the bathhouse one.
Oh, the wall?
No.
Oh, the sauna monster.
The sauna one. That was a really cool one.
Also, all of the monsters have this design with their eyes to, like, ignite on fire.
And his actually made sense. But anyway, with this one, the clock one, his teeth. Oof.
Clockwork, you see his teethers. He's gross.
But and then she sees them fighting and she has this moment, she's like, don't worry, I got this, and she just drives away.
Well, yeah, she's like, don't worry, guys, I got this, gives the thumbs up, and then drives away.
Well, drives, she bikes away,
yeah,
pedals, I don't know.
I think it's so funny, because Red's just like, that's her plan. She was doing a diversion for us, and
she's drawing him away.
So we can be better to defeat him. And the punchline was so funny. I had to laugh. Because you're waiting for that to be the case. You're like, oh, wow, is she really that smart?
Because, like, their whole thing, because, like, I'm realizing we didn't establish, like, one of the things with this is, like, oh, they have, like, almost perfect communication to the point where it's, like, they don't have to, like, verbally talk in order for them to understand a plan. Blue, red, and orange. Because Orange's whole thing is, like, I'm always one step ahead. Because he doesn't like to be in the front lines. He likes to just produce what you want when you need it, essentially.
We kind of called Gemba the one guy from Resident Evil. Every time he showed up, we were like, what you so buying?
What's a you so buying?
But it is super insane that they just flip it on its head instead of letting Mira be smart.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I was just running away. I just wanted to do the delivery.
But no, she's like, I legitimately got lost.
Yeah, and then he just thinks it's funny.
Yeah, and Blue is just like, why did we let her on? Why did you do this? Why are you like this? And then he impresses her with her driving skills. Because Pink is one of the most straightforward people ever. She's
chaotic.
She just, like, picks a direction and goes.
Violently.
And we obviously then have, and this is leading up to Black's debut, Joe, and he's just been constantly getting the crap beaten out of him by the monsters. Like, he's getting gagged by the wedding dresses in episode 1. I think he just gets straight up attacked in episode 2. So he's just constantly getting into the monster's way. And here's something I do want to mention. Early on, we do see Gemba with what looks like a changer. And we'll come back to that when he debuts. There's a weird thing that goes with that. And it's super funny because you also have the Hash aliens constantly being like, why aren't we getting noticed? Why aren't we getting attention? We're the one doing these crimes, but the tire people are getting it? This is bullshit.
Yeah, and they even, like, really put themselves out there, like, hello, world, these are our names. They pose, like, they do everything
they have their
they can to get noticed, and they still don't get noticed.
And the funny part is, that felt so Team Rocket, it hurt.
It was just like, wow.
By that, I mean, like, I was laughing because I was like, are you fucking do not make me put the Team Rocket comparisons and then prove me right immediately afterwards. And you pretty much have Pink getting arrested. And at first, when we saw the preview, we're like, oh, she's getting arrested, so she's hiding her identity. So she doesn't know, so they don't know who they are. That's so smart. No. It's just the suit actor being more expressive. And they go.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed getting to see them more in, like, casual settings rather than just fighting, you know?
Exactly. And then we also do...
I say casual as if she didn't go to jail.
She went to jail.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that, like, when you unscrew everything, it's just, like...
They get naked. Is this the sauna monster?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one made sense. He was the sauna monster, and he was pretty cool looking.
It made everyone sweaty.
Yeah, he just made everyone sweat. And ultimately... at the end of that one, we meet this other agent who's like, I need to know more about the BoomBoomgers. And they are trying to get them arrested and shut down until Tyra is just like, I'll give you all the info, but I run the show. Bitch and what?
But you don't get to interfere.
And they're like, fine, but you have to have an agent watching you so they can
And
deliver
guess
stuff back.
who that
Yeah,
is?
and he's like, I'll take Joe.
I picked Joe.
And then you get the whole next part where Joe is just like, oh, cool, I'm hanging out with you guys. Can I be a BoomBoomger? And he's like,
No.
no.
But I think being a superhero would be really cool.
And he's like, no. Now go
Mm.
do your job. And he's like, okay. Wearing his overalls. Like, I like how he was dressing like a cop and now he dresses like a preschooler.
That's preschooler.
Like, and it doesn't help that in the following episodes, he doesn't not just have the overalls, but a fanny pack.
And he stole a cookie.
Oh, yeah, and he just put a cookie in his pocket. We were like, oh, fuck, is that cookie gonna come back?
It didn't.
But we also got the dartboard monster this episode, which was constantly trying to be
That
like
was
Jigsaw, being like, would you like to play a game?
Honestly, the monster designs so far have been really good.
I like the monster designs. And overall, I think it was really funny that he was like, okay, hit a bullseye, and he just threw it in the guy's eyes so the people could get away.
I mean, it worked.
It worked. And then you just see Joe get the fucking shit kicked out of him. And then he's like, oh, I finally get to debut. And we get his cool suit, and we get BoomBoomger Police, which, honestly, the robot fight was kind of cool. Like, he has, like, 2 Robocop, like, pistols.
And I think it's about now that you get to see that you can have multiple people inside a vehicle at the same time. And also, each of them don't have to be in their assigned color vehicles.
Oh, yeah, we saw that episode 2, which I appreciate a lot. Because we saw in episode 2, Blue use Wagon, which is Pink's main vehicle. So it's like, I like that they already established that, no, you do not need to be in your specified car, and we also don't need everyone to be piloting their own mech. Like, we see in several episodes where, like...
And also, you can have more than one person inside, which I always appreciate.
Exactly.
Especially if it is a limited one where you can't have everything on all at once.
Also, Gemba threw him the suitcase with the axe changer. Also, like, can we talk about the police spikes?
Cool.
They just was like, drop the spike nail so we can make this car crash. Which, honestly, a lot of the car stuff kind of was getting a little bit samey, and then they kind of started doing more stuff with it, like the tire spikes and everything. And then we get the next episode, and it's where we get introduced to the next villain of the arc, and we kind of start questioning Taya, which, honestly, we could probably just talk about, like, these next few episodes altogether. Like, I can't remember which ones are which anymore, because I know Orange's debut is in the middle of it. You know what I mean? And we pretty much get introduced to pretty much the big bad, which I'm realizing we didn't talk about the wall monster, I think, at all.
What a weird design.
He was like one of the only ones that didn't have like fire eyes. Like, you saw him get fire in his eyes, but like that was not prevalent on him all the time. Like the other monsters. Which I do find interesting. But oh wait, we didn't talk about the toilet monster. Sorry.
I mean, we briefly did. This was a really interesting episode. This was like the first like very notable one in my opinion, where it was like, first of all, what a silly little
Like I like that they established the status quo with Black before they introduced Orange. But yeah, do you want to see what the toilet episode was?
He spews truth water.
His bidet of truth.
He seeks the truth. And, like, Blue is just like, I don't know Joe's intentions. I don't know about this guy.
He thinks he's going to be sinister.
And then, like, he gets splashed with the water. Black gets splashed with the water. Not in that order.
No, Black actually never gets splashed with the water.
No, he does. They're the exact same, remember?
Oh, yeah, he doesn't change.
He doesn't change. And then Blue, like, found that super admirable. He went a little more Sentai-esque and was, like, more dramatic and open. And everybody giggled at him whenever it wore off.
Yeah, he actually, like, actually was like, I'm getting cranked up, which is what Bakeage means, apparently. And, like, you kind of get to see Blue more excitable instead of, like, his usual, like, I'm the cool guy. I'm the mysterious info broker. And, like, just him, this shot says it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of funny just to see him get attached to Blue. And it was also really cool because you saw that they didn't need Taya there, because I think that was the first time you got to see him fight Mad Rex. I think was in that fight with the toilet monster.
I think so.
I can't remember. But either way, it's like I do appreciate that they didn't need Taya there. Like, he could be out on his own. And then you also had him Captain Americaing the shield.
Also him trusting them to just handle it.
Exactly. And then he's finally like, Gemba, you have to join in the crew. And he's like, I don't wanna. I wanna be a loner over here on my own. And he's like, that fine. You're gonna like get lost behind us, and you're not gonna be as cool as us and get all the fucking ladies. And he's like,
we're eventually gonna outpace you or something.
and then he slowly sees that, and he's just like, oh shit.
I want front row seat.
Yeah, and then
he bonds with Boondario over like this weird idol thing that he had become obsessed with and in love with. It's like a weird stack of tires with like 2 tongues or something.
It's like, I don't know if she's like a mascot, a Vocaloid, or what she is, because she has CDs. I don't know what the hell she is, but I love, exactly. Like, we see in both this and I think episode 9, where
it's like if someone was just like, oh, Hedora, am I right?
Exactly. But I think it's super funny that, like, they kept it along. I thought this would be a 1-episode bit. Like, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna see that once and we'll never see it again.
Actually, it does kind of come back.
It does.
Oh, they're probably gonna sell a plush of that.
I hope they do.
That little trash monster.
A little goblin with 2 tongues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super funny because you also have Pink and Black looking at each other like, are you fucking...
These two are such a cute vibe, by the way. Black and
honestly,
Pink.
a lot of them are good vibes. Like, you can see why each of them can go together.
I love like a lot of like the interpersonal things in between.
The fact that Gemba always has a lollipop.
Yes.
I'm about to say, do you think he's like Pops and he hands them out like money?
Good show, jolly good show.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. It's like, can I pay you? You don't pay people in lollipops.
I pay you in screws.
And we get to one of my favorite moments because, long story short, Mad Rex, who is like the new big commander of the Hash Aliens, and I love their build up with his rivalry with Boon Red. Like, it starts off with, oh, you survived a round with me. That's impressive.
I'm gonna fight you again.
I'll wait for round 2. And then he scratches him. He's like, oh, nobody's ever damaged my body before. Let's go again.
Mm-hmm.
And he also tries to recruit him. And that's also where they start kind of questioning Taya as a character. Like, what are his motives? Like, they find out that the BoonBoomgers weren't made for helping people, which I think is actually kind of cool. You find out that they're actually meant for the car system because it's for a big race.
It's like a Grand Prix.
The BBG. The Big Bang Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my god, is this in the opposite channel than the Desire Grand Prix?
It's just like a shiver goes down your spine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like Zine turns the channel. He's like, oh, sweet. What's the BBG doing? Turning on the channels for the future people.
He also likes Dragon Ball. He just likes tournament stuff. Like,
oh my god.
Tournament style.
But like we get to see like Mad Rex almost get consumed by wanting to fight Boon Red.
To the point where like our
little cat friend.
Team Rocket villain friends.
The Roomba.
Like, we see them get kind of legitimately bullied by this guy to a point where it does kind of make you feel bad for them. He pushes them
around and he's like telling them that they suck.
Yeah, but like really in just a noticeably like just kind of disrespectful way. Well, yeah,
they take the Meowth-alike and squeeze him.
Yeah, and like he trapped them in cages and then he's like squeezed what I thought was the life out of this little thing, but maybe I've just been reading too much violent manga. But
to be fair, I think it's really funny that they had this plan to capture
manga and comic books. Let me preface.
I think it's super funny that they trapped the BoonBoomger. That was their plan. They were like, aha! And then they realized that they were still in the cages in these disguises, and they were like, our plan worked. How are you guys getting out? Oh shit. Do you guys know how to get out of here?
I'm sorry, I was having Invincible flashbacks once. I was just like, oh wait, I should qualify that I'm not like a weirdo. And then I was just like, I remember it just like, oh yeah, there's reasons why Invincible made me think that they just killed that little cute thing on a fun car pun show. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
I'm so used to being hurt. I'm so used to being hurt out of nowhere.
But yeah, we also find out that like these suits are made for a dampening system because you find out that Boondario was part of this Grand Prix and lost his license, which I'm expecting to be a big plot point.
Yeah, they didn't go into it, so I imagine that's going to be like probably a whole episode on its own of backstory. It's probably going to be a whole ass thing of just like how they met. Like, I mean, we've seen how they met, but like we're probably going to see like that full story.
I hope we see more of it because it's like as they start questioning Tyre, like they're like, hey, we need to shut it down. We can't just have this be somebody's thing just for personal gain.
And I definitely see, like, why. Like, a lot of
But
the reasoning makes sense.
but Gemba and Chashiro were already bought in. They were already like, we knew. This is what we're aware of.
And, like, they felt, like, awkward talking about it.
And then, like, you find out that it's all because of Taya's dream, which was originally Bundario's dream. And it literally goes into this emotional scene of, like, what's wrong with dreaming. And, like, that's what I'm saying. It hit. Like, like they set up that Bundario isn't a robot. He's an alien. He's just an alien who can turn into a car. He can eat food and do all of that. He makes curry all the time. And apparently he can cry. And that made me really upset seeing that. Because I was like, wait, I didn't know you could cry. That makes me feel bad.
He has feelings.
And, like, you just find out that he pretty much, like, I don't know if they would have said this, but maybe he was, like, wasted and drunk because he's sad that he can't do his one thing he wanted to do in life. And he just crash lands on Earth in a cloak. Just because he's like, I don't have nothing to live for no more.
This
And, like,
sucks, guys.
And you see Taya fixes him up, and he's just like, I just like fixing machines. He's like, I fixed you up. We can be buddies, and they've been best friends ever since. And they built all the cars. Like,
they just love cars. They like building cars. They have this supercar that he's training himself to be able to withstand longer because it's
for the Grand Prix.
It's for the Grand Prix.
Well,
it's supposed to, which is actually Red's main car. You would think that he would be driving that most of the time, but he's usually in the trailer with.
He's using
with Bundario.
But like, and like, I like that, but I also like that, like, they set up that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, I don't really know what my big dream is, but he's like, I want to deliver everyone else's dream. It feels very Taro.
It feels like very like Taro. It feels a lot like, what was it that you said?
What?
Like, this was like Taro's son. Like,
oh yeah, this is like,
Ultraman
is this
Taro?
Is this Taro and
2.0.
and what's his name?
No,
who is Blue Gridman? Oh my god, I can't remember his name. I know it's like you got Sona's Sonoy. It's Sonoy and Taro's son.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, that's who you're talking about. Yes, actually, not thinking about that. That is
honestly, that he feels like their son, their badass millionaire son.
I thought you meant Ultraman Taro.
No,
but like, yeah, thinking of the Dawn brothers. Like, yeah, that's certainly that vibe, I guess.
And, like, again, I do like that you
it's
have the
very
rest of the
selfless.
team
Like, his dream
him.
Is just, I want other people's dreams to come true.
Well, and
I
like,
want to be, and, like, that makes him feel good, and god damn it, we need more people like that.
And, like, that's even what Budario says. He's like, my dream has evolved past that. He's like, I want other people to be happy. And you even have another moment when we were talking about the villains being bullied, where like they're like, "Hey, you need to go let Mad Rex have that gasoline," and he's like, "I don't want to be squeezed again." And they kind of feel bad for probably pushing him
I'm
to do
sorry,
it.
but we have to. Like, they feel bad, and like they have to do it themselves, and right after they finish patching him up too, and it's like,
yeah, and then they immediately
he has a dog on his thigh. I forgot.
Yeah, he had a dog on his thigh that goes.
But he like talks to it like it actually talks to him.
Yeah.
Might be crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things to where you really did see them come together. Where it's like, was it a little rushed in some moments? Maybe.
Honestly, not really. I just feel like it was just fast paced in general. I felt like everything was well.
Yeah. Also,
well paced and also consistent. So
yeah.
like I wouldn't even say that honestly.
Also, we didn't talk about the lady who had the crush on Bundario.
Who doesn't have a crush on Bundario?
That is fair. But it's like...
We all have a crush on Bundario, okay?
But yeah.
We can't blame her.
Again, I like that we have an explanation to where these powers and everything come from. It's super interesting because you don't get that often.
It's like,
in a lot of Sentai.
It's like where the answer is short and sweet but satisfying, you know? Like, they don't have to go into it that much because it's like, you don't need to. And they're just like, this is the case. He's an alien. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And the ending theme is fun. Like we said, we have a ton of, like, traffic lights of, like, don't stop if the traffic light is blinking. And it's the JFS.
JAF, Adam.
Jaff. And it was just a ton of fun. And obviously, at that final fight in episode 1, to end lap 1, we killed Mad Rex. Which, honestly, Mad Rex was totally a Mad Max reference, right?
Oh, absolutely. I would be shocked if it wasn't. But, like, it actually leaves off on an eerie note, like how usually a big bad would like say something interesting or here's a pun and then they explode. But there's just like, what was it like? Oh, this is if this is your best, you'll never be able to defeat my boss. Or
Well,
something like that.
exactly.
It's like, oh, so we're leaving on
Oh
that
yeah, we
note.
even hear about the boss, where you hear he's like bigger than the universe. Like I'm like
he doesn't fit in the universe.
exactly,
or
and then
like
we
that.
immediately thought we're like, is the Galactic Insect King back?
I don't
That
want
son
it.
of a bitch.
I don't want it. Stay out. You can't ruin this life too. You can't. It's not fair.
And like this was just
No.
this was just a ton of fun. Do you have any fun highlights?
I just really love the vibes in between these characters and just like how they interact with each other.
Also, Bundario giving Tyre a massage
Oh yeah.
because he was like he wore his body out fighting Mad Rex.
Mm-hmm. And also just like I like the fact that these characters, while like they can be super goofy, they can turn serious if they need to. It's like when they were questioning Red's motives and if they could trust him, like they were serious.
Dead serious.
They were dead serious. They're just like, excuse me, I don't want you risking your life, my life, or any like other like random person's life.
That was like that was a big thing for Pink. She's like, how can you throw your life away for a race? And I'm like, justifiable.
Yeah. And even like we were just like, I wonder what
how this is gonna go.
We wonder how this is gonna go, and it's like by the time that we got through, we're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and again, I really did like it. And again, the ending theme was
I'm
fun.
really looking forward to this, and there's also a suspicious blank spot in a lot of their ending dances and intros, and I'm just like, I wonder if we'll get another.
But the team itself is so solid and so fun.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you have a favorite? Because I really couldn't pick a favorite at the moment. I think we need more time with them.
Yeah. I'm enjoying Pink though.
Mira is fun.
Yeah, again,
fun.
I feel like her interactions with the other team members are the most fun for me. So
I like Gemba just because he feels like almost a drug dealer.
yeah, a little bit.
Again, because he works in procurement, so you just see him at one point. He buys a dump because he's like, "Oh yeah, Taya wants the dump."
Has Taya's like
credit
checkbook.
card. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like he's like always calling Gemba like, "Hey, I need you to buy this garbage dump for me. I need it for a thing."
He just like pinches the bridge of his nose like.
That's Blue. Actually, he's like, "Oh god damn it, what are you planning? Trust me." Because I think even when
as your accountant, I don't like.
He's like, "Well, you don't question me. I pay you. By that I mean I let you live."
I pay myself. I don't know.
Because I like how when he first got Pink onto the team, he's like, "Oh fuck, not again." Like, "Oh, it's another one."
Oh god.
And then even when Joe showed up, he's like, "Another one? This quick? God damn it."
I also like that the cars are like different treads and sizes as well.
Oh yeah, they each...
other than the rims.
Like I think blue, red, and pinks are probably all about the same tire type.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that black and orange are very different.
Yeah, especially oranges. Like you can definitely tell that specifically for a construction vehicle.
Yeah.
Like that specific kind of tread.
Okay, we need to talk about the theme song because
it slaps.
Like we were not ready for the theme song when it hit, but we were like listening to it as it started hitting in, and we're like, where have we heard this guy before?
Oh yeah,
and
he's
I think
done
it's
a lot
like
of good
Maseki
songs.
Endo, I think is his name. And if that name sounds familiar, he did the Zenkai Jubo theme back in Zenkaiger, but he also did the Ultraman Zet theme, which is still one of my favorite all-time themes, and he does not miss with any of his songs. Like this
His screams
song,
keep getting louder every time.
oh my god, it's
or
so
like
good.
Longer, not louder.
It's so good though.
And like the ending dance theme is also very fun.
It's fun, but
but like that opening theme song.
That opening theme gets you
awesome.
hyped, and it feels almost so retro but so modern at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
like a love letter to like how Sentai was at that point in time, rather than like this is what I would want for.
Well, this is what it's been missing for a little bit. We're just having the group be together, doing their thing. They're like established. We got to see them slowly build out, which was nice. But like we see them do regular antics. Like even last year with King Oger, near the ending half, we barely got any gimmick Bugny arc anymore. Like we got him early on, but not very much. And in Dawn Brothers, yes, we had a good like generic Sentai like stream going, but you didn't get all 5 of them as a team until the end of the show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where we haven't had this in a little bit. Even Zenkaiger's a little bit weird because I don't know. It's like it was also experimental. Like this is the first one that does feel like we are back to form. It feels very similar to Kira Major, which was also weirdly a vehicle-based Sentai when you think about it.
Yeah, I can see.
It's
Yeah.
definitely more gem themed. Like that was their big focus.
It was gem first, vehicle next, but I mean, there still was vehicles. We still had like
They
a
had
crane.
cars. Oh, I'm realizing I should have thrown him in the review, which is funny because I think he's the smallest mech we have.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He's a
pretty
little
whittle.
boy.
He's whittle.
And he doesn't combine with anyone.
No.
He's just a little boy.
He's just kind of there on his own, glimmering beautifully.
But yeah, no, that theme song. And let's talk about some of these mecha formations because they are cool. We have Builder, which is like Orange's combo, where he just gets this big hammer that's so heavy that he needs the crane arm to assist his hand.
And like holding and wielding it, which is awesome.
I love that. And the face is really cool.
I like that they continue like the little mouth lines onto the chin part. They really brought it together.
And then you have Police, which we just mentioned has RoboCop pistols.
Right, those are really cool, especially like as a toy, since we've gotten to play around a little bit with them.
And this is something I did kind of talk about in my review, but I guess now you get to talk about. We have Night Form, which we think has a slight King Oger homage.
I say homage,
but like, it's mostly not because we're like, oh, it's obviously a Beetle theme, or oh, it's because it's night themed and they made it obviously King Oger. It's mostly because it has a side cape, like how the King Ogers had them.
Well, I mean, I also see it like in like the visor shape that they gave him.
Yeah,
with the almost like horns and like the like tail cape things like go with it well as well.
Well, yeah, and then the sword.
It has a sword. I feel like it's like this is kind of like a reference that we haven't had in a long time, where it's like, oh,
it's subtle.
It's King Oger ? Instead of like it literally like having King Oger like pasted on its chest, like King Oger. You know?
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's like it has. Like, just, it doesn't look like they made it look like a beetle. It conveniently has those very similar shaped horns, but that could also be a part of a car. Like, whether it be, like, a wrench,
like
or the exhaust pipes and everything.
They're their own identity first. And then it's like, oh, let's have one that is a reference to King Oger.
And hey, maybe it's just a pure coincidence, and they didn't mean it.
And if not, then, like, damn, that's just a good design.
Well, exactly, where it's like, but I would love to see BoomBoomger Robo Knight fight alongside King Oger. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
But yeah, no, and I think that's all the combos. We obviously have the regular one with his big hand and his screwdriver. Oh yeah, we had the boxing one, which was with the prototype, because Red was like, I could do this all day, Mad Rex, and tried to punch him to death. And then I think he exploded. Also, I do want to mention, and in the ending dance, when you can tell that they're all singing in the car, whether it be the actors or them in suits, it is weirdly one of the most adorable things I think we gotta see.
Cute. It's so cute.
And
both in and out of suit, honestly.
Exactly. But even with Orange's debut, I want to go back to me being like, I thought he had his changer, because they legitimately give him the axe and are like, yeah, this is especially made for you. Then I'm like, then what were you holding back in episode 3 or 4?
Honestly, my opinion was just like, it was something that he used as a communicator. It just didn't transform, because if it's like, oh, he's in suit and he needs to talk to him, he would just like talk into it, you know? And then it's like, oh, he has something in his hand so that he can participate.
Which honestly, I love.
And then with this, it's like, oh no, now this one can also help you transform. Like,
also, I love the change axe. Literally, it's a weapon that feels like it's meant for me, because you know I love axes, but then it can turn into a sword, which I also love. So
I'm also a fan of swords.
Yeah, exactly.
Love swords.
It's just so cool. It's just one of those things where I'm like, that's cool. It's just cool. That's all I have to say about it. I'm like, that's neat. But yeah, that's pretty much like our opening thoughts on BoomBoomger.
Yeah, and we'll be doing our best to stay as on top of things as we can.
Like I said, and we found out like it's so funny about all the Pokemon vibes. We do find out. I think it's one of the writers. I think it's the main writer. Worked for Pokemon.
Worked on Pokemon.
So I'm like,
I think they also
Team Rocket. Ash's voice actors here. It must be a weird coincidence.
What a coinkydink.
But I do love Bundaria, though.
I love him.
So
I
good.
want his curry so bad.
Yeah, what do you think it tastes like?
Delicious.
Car oil? No?
What?
I said car oil. What did what did it not sound right?
It sounded like you said Carl oil. Like,
oh.
Hey, Jimmy's mom. Like,
hey, Jimmy. No.
You want some of my oil?
Oh God. Okay. All right.
It's called gasoline.
Oh God. Oh no. All right.
No, me just
But
giving
yeah.
everyone nightmare imagery in their head. You're welcome.
But yeah. So I don't know. Do you have anything left to say?
Uh,
Any highlights? Any favorite suits? Any robots that we didn't mention that you want to mention?
Not that I could think of at the moment. I imagine like anything that I missed will eventually get to, since
Yeah. Well, that's a hopefully by next week we will be going back to Jessica Chard and BoomBoomger at the same time.
we're gonna try.
We're gonna try. We'll see. But yeah, no. This is just enjoyable. It's fun. You like.
I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the characters. I'm interested. I'm in. You know, I'm waiting to see what they do, and
Again, I think it's mostly because of
I'm
the
ready for it.
the puns. But like, I have to give this Sentai something for me having to learn the names as fast as I did. But it's mostly because they're so dumb.
Well, it's because they're a pun. Then it's like, oh, what's a car pun?
Well,
Tire, mirror, and it's like, okay, Taya, Mira, and then it's like, and then again,
Chashido.
then there's Chashido,
And then Joe.
and Joe.
Joe is
What
the
was
easiest
Oranges?
one.
It was Gemba.
Which Gemba's just a weird enough name where it's like, yes, the pun doesn't work in my language, but it's memorable for me because I remember the "buh" at the end of it.
I always remember the Gen at first, but that makes me think of like
Genta from Revice.
Yeah, either Genta from Revice or Sento from Build.
Oh God.
I never remember the ba. So
The bah.
it's Genba, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and remember.
But yeah, who's your favorite BoonBoomger so far? What's your favorite BoonBoomger Robo combo? What was your favorite episode? Tell us all your favorite parts down in the comments.
Yes. I agree.
So yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. It has been a while. Thank you for being patient. We appreciate you.
And we'll be coming back. Coming Boon.
Coming
More
Boon.
BoomBoomger. Which I did like that pun when they
that
put
was
that
really
in
cute.
the
A lot of their
stuff.
puns are just really cute.
Honestly, it just like that's what it did. It just had to lull me in with like fun, like not making me feel like my brain had to move that much. And then they did the whole Mad Rex stuff
They
and
tricked you into
questioning
caring.
Taya, and I was just like, oh my god, what's
They tricked
happening?
you into caring, and then you're like, ah, crap, now I care about what happens to these characters.
And then I drop a lot of money.
Yep.
And then I buy BoonBoomger Robo.
It's the circle of life, baby.
Yep. Circle of life, circle of death.
Your wallet's in the middle.
Yep. So, tell us all about your favorite parts in the comments down below.
We'll see you guys next time.
And so, thank you so much for listening. Until next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.